Here we are, issue 98. Let's get started. We have the heavy freighter, the Eravana, something like that. The Eravana, a Baleen Class heavy freighter, was built by the Korean Engineering Corporation and is one of countless others still in regular use around the galaxy. Bulk freighters of this class, dull but essential, are able to move truly huge amounts of cargo thanks to their enormous size, almost 426 meters in length. Due to this, baleen vessels are built in orbital shipyards and are, under normal circumstances at least, not intended ever to enter inside a planet's atmosphere. Even if they do, they certainly aren't designed to land, as they aren't built to withstand the rigors of reentry. Instead, Baleen class freighters rely on space stations or orbital transfer yards from here, cargo is moved to smaller haulers that make multiple journeys back and forth to the planet below. Hyperdrive upgrade. Never content to run a ship as he found it, and despite the fact that it was never going to be the Falcon, Han had determined to upgrade the Eravana's systems. In particular, the speed-loving Corellian wasn't happy with the bulk freighter's painfully slow hyperdrive. A stuttering Class 4, Solo and Chewbacca's efforts to upgrade to a slightly more respectable Class 3 were not without incident. However, and resulted in punctured housing in the warp vortex stabilizer, followed by an uncomfortably expensive layover at a shipyard in orbit over Badajeff. So, if you haven't figured it out yet, this is Han's ship that he had in The Force Awakens. So, there you go. Wide open. The front of the ship opens up like a huge mouth, with enormous docking bay doors hinging at the top and retracting at the base. These doors are secured with a heavy-duty locking mechanism that can only be operated from inside the ship. The huge docking bay area, which also doubles as a forward hold, is controlled by a sophisticated repressurization system. Atop the docking bay is an observation deck that enables the crew to control the doors, as well as the tractor beam projectors that help move cargo around. Once the docking bay doors are open, huge spotlights enable the operators to light up any items moving in or out of the cargo bay. The freighter is powered by two main engines, each protected by thrust vector plates, four smaller engines, and a primary thruster at the rear. Maneuvering thrusters are located at the front, rear, and side of the freighter to allow it to dock in any orientation. Multiple docking points in various places around the ship allow numerous other ships to dock simultaneously. In theory, this was to offer maximum efficiency in loading and unloading process, but in reality often made it a little chaotic. Baleen class ownership. The overwhelming majority of bulk transports are operated in fleets by larger corporations that can afford upfront costs, maintenance bills, and the insurance premiums that independent operators can't even consider. However, Han Solo owned and operated his Baleen class Eravana independently along with Chewbacca. After losing his beloved Falcon, and the freighter was able to make the pair a good amount of credits. Their income came from carrying all manners of cargo across the galaxy, some of it legal and some of it not so much. Compared to the Falcon, the Ravana was vast, over 12 times its size and with multiple interior levels. This was a plus point in some respects, as it meant that they could move more cargo, though it was nowhere near as nimble as the Falcon, and a freighter that size was not easily concealable. The Ravana also had no weapon capability, although it did have a powerful deflector shield projector, impressive sensors, and a very strong front-facing tractor beam that could be used to hold an opponent at bay. Time to go. So here we go. Shortly after recovering the Millennium Falcon from Rey and Finn, Solo and Chewie had to abandon the Eravana rather abruptly when it was boarded by two infamous criminal factions, the Guavian Death Gang and the Kanji Club. Both had loaned Solo credits, and as happened more often than Han had uh, would have liked, both were following up on late payments. Though Rey and Finn hid in the maintenance tunnels of the freighter, while Han tried to smooth talk his way out of the situation, the astromech BB-8 was spotted by Balatik from the Guavian Death Gang, who recognized the droid being hunted by the First Order. When the Guavian enforcer demanded Solo hand him over, Rey took action, hoping to steal the gang off from Han. She accidentally released the trio of hungry Rathtars that Solo was illegally shipping. Unfortunately, while the Rathtars promptly ate most of the Solo's creditors, they then turned their sights on the rest of the party, only who just managed to escape at light speed aboard the Millennium Falcon. Dog eat dog. Behind the scenes. The Raftars smuggled aboard the Eravana were based on nothing more dramatic than a dog's toy. Practical effects guru Neil Scanlon, who had previously won Oscars for his work on Babe and Prometheus, headed the creature shop for the production of The Force Awakens and explained that the beasts were conceived as a dog's ball with spikes attached. It's basically just an enormous stomach with one thing on its mind, to put as many things inside that stomach as it can. He goes on to explain the reasoning behind this. With Star Wars, simplicity is key. Like R2-D2 or BB-8, any child can draw a silhouette of a Rathtar. There you go. Ruusan Mystery of the Midrim. So we've kind of touched on this one in previous issues, but we'll go at it again. After the loss of after the loss of so much recorded history, when the Jedi Order was destroyed and his temple on Coruscant defiled, the truth of what happened on the mysterious Midrim world of Ruusan may never be fully understood. Even before the Emperor rewrote much of the galactic history, details of what occurred on the planet were muddied by rumor, myth, and Spacer's legend. What is certain is that during the separatist crisis that preceded the Clone Wars, Ruusan was part of what would become the Confederacy of Independent Systems. During the Clone Wars, one of Ruusan's 3 moons was used to conceal a CIS listening post dubbed Skytop Station, but put there by General Grievous. So we've talked about Skytop Station. That's this down here. Talked about that. Based around a Trade Federation core ship, Sphere, Skytop Station bristled with powerful communication antenna. The station remained hidden from the Republic for some time, the thick atmosphere of the Ruusan moon making it hard to spot by any ship coming into the system. As a result, the communications intercepted by Skytop gave the Separatists a considerable edge in the early years of the war. R2-D2 to the rescue. In the end, the station was recovered thanks to a series of communications or the will of the Force when Anakin lost R2-D2 following a skirmish above Abothawai. The droid was picked up by Trandoshan scavenger who recognizing its value took it to General Grievous on Skytop. R2, though, was able to broadcast his position, leading to a Republic assault on Skytop Station, in which its repulsor lift engine were crippled. The listening post fell into the moon's gravity and was destroyed. I'm not going to go over this. This is legend stuff. And although it's interesting, it's not canon. So I've decided I'm not going to go over any of the legend stuff because it's just filler and, that kind of stuff. So. But behind the scenes, old and new, Star Wars fans' first experience of the Midrim world of Ruusan came with LucasArts' 1997 video game Star Wars Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2, in which gamers visited the mysterious Valley of the Jedi. Since then, the world has appeared consistently across the range of Star Wars products, including novels, multiplayer games, and comics, as its dark and violent history and consequential influence on the later Galactic Republic became a recurrent theme in the expanded universe. And again, expanded universe is not canon, but they are interesting stories. So if you're interested in that, you should go check them out. Its appearance was a war-ravaged and barren world in the 2008 Star Wars A Clone Wars episode Duel of the Droids saw it assimilated into the new canon. So there you go. That is everything in this issue, and in this issue we put more parts on the back engine section, and then we worked on the landing legs and got those pretty much all done. There's a little bit left to do, just a little bit of extra detailing on the hoses. So we'll probably do that at some point. Next, we'll be working on issue 99. Looks like we have more parts to glue on in the back section to include the actuators, thrust actuators. So we'll get started on that for issue 99. Getting really close to wrapping this bad boy up. So stay tuned. We'll get started on issue 99 very soon. And I want to thank you all for watching, and may the force be with you always.